रेंट पे रहना है या बाय करना है?
For me, I'll always advise to buy a property.
You run one of the largest real estate companies. क्या स्केल है, क्या रेवेन्यूज है?
We are somewhere close to around 300 crores.
जैसे मैं आज बॉम्बे से पुणे ट्रैवल कर रहा था, सो इन लाइक अ स्पैन ऑफ 5 minutes आई वाज जस्ट काउंटिंग द नंबर ऑफ होर्डिंग्स एंड बैनर्स ऑफ रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज. आफ्टर एवरी 10 सेकंड कोई ना कोई मतलब ऐसे रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज के एकदम लाइक एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स थे.
आप होर्डिंग्स कितने भी लगाओ, आप एडवर्टाइजिंग कितनी भी करो, पर अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट खोखला होगा तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू सस्टेन फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम.
तो आपके बिजनेस में व्हाट हैज बीन द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल सोर्स ऑफ एक्वायरिंग कस्टमर्स?
But the most important, I think, what I'll always say is the repeat customer that you get or the reference client you get. I today command at least 40 to 45% of the client.
Which parts of India do you think are expected to boom?
I see Kolhapur, Nasik, and Nagpur as the next hot cities.
What is smarter, whether he or she should move in a ready to move kind of an apartment which is fully furnished, or invest in, let's say, something like an under construction property and then few years down the line move?
Depends upon you.
वीडियो देखने से पहले मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है आप सबसे. मैं YouTube एनालिटिक्स देख रहा था एंड वहां पर देखा कि 82.6% ऑफ माय ऑडियंस हु इज वाचिंग दिस कंटेंट हैज नॉट सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल. अगर मैंने आपको थोड़ी सी वैल्यू प्रोवाइड की होगी एंड आपको अगर कंटेंट बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू प्लीज हिट द सब्सक्राइब बटन सो दैट वी कैन ब्रिंग यू द बेस्ट क्वालिटी ऑफ गेस्ट एंड गिव यू द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू पॉसिबल. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सब्सक्राइबिंग टू आवर चैनल एंड एंजॉय दिस एंटायर एपिसोड ऑफ कॉन्वर्सेशन विद कुशल. Like you run one of the largest real estate companies here and आपका कैसे ट्रांजिशन हुआ था यहाँ पे, एंड थोड़ा अगर आप आपकी कंपनी के बारे में बताओगे क्या स्केल है, क्या रेवेन्यूज है, सो एवरीवन विल जस्ट गेट टू नो दैट.
I don't know about the largest part. Thank you so much for the compliment of it. I think I still say I'm still just in the learning phase or the beginning phase. There are a lot of other prominent names in Pune whom I look up to. And I hope and aspire that someday I think Ravekar is also taken as a name in the same league. But I think in terms of numbers, if you ask me, I think so far I think we have completed around 38 projects in Pune at this present moment. Around 18 lakh square feet of construction has been delivered so far. Presently, we are having around 10 projects which are ongoing at again very prime locations in Pune. And catering to around 7 lakh square feet of construction at this present moment. Revenue wise, if you ask me, I think as a group company, we are somewhere close to around 300 crores is the sales volume that we cater to year to year basis. So I think this is what I think makes us not the largest or whatever, but I think someone who is trying to make a mark on this beautiful city.
You are being very modest and humble by saying you are not one of the largest, but of course like the scale is massive. But थोड़ा आप बता सकते हो कि आप फिर कैसे रियल एस्टेट में ट्रांजिशन हुए एंड आपने आपके डैड से क्या सीखा है, क्या इम्बाइब किया which helped you in this business?
So I think what I have learned from my father is basically first is to never give up on his own dream or vision, because typically coming from a service background, my father was the first one in my entire family to venture out into as an entrepreneur. And I think probably that is what I think sowed the seeds of following his footsteps or the path that he had chosen, or probably gave us the aspiration to dream something that you can create your own destiny. So that is one I think I learned from my father. My father is basically an architect. Later on came into real estate industry. But there was no one to guide him or to mentor him. So whatever he achieved or whatever mistakes he managed was probably because there was no one to guide him at that point of time. For me, at least I'll put it this way, that for me, I always had a father to look up to have an example in front of me, or as a guide, who at least through his journey, I think I learned a lot. And while I started my own journey, at least I was pretty sure of what are my do's and don'ts. So I think that probably made my thought process very clear.
एंड इसमें रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री में आई वाज जस्ट रीडिंग अ न्यूज़ कपल ऑफ मंथ्स बैक, आई थिंक ये जुलाई 2025 का एक आर्टिकल था कि रियल एस्टेट prices and real estate sales in a lot of cities have slumped. बहुत सारे sales कम हो गए. मुंबई में भी कम हो गए थे, I think by 20%. बैंगलोर में कम हो गए थे by 15%. पुणे में भी कम हो गए थे. Chennai was the one of the only places where the real estate prices had gone up 11%. तो ये मतलब अभी क्या हो रहा है, like why the prices had fallen, और ये अभी इसमें recovery expect कर सकते हैं? आपका क्या view है इस पे?
Where Pune is concerned, I won't say the market slump has been there. Okay. The rates have been pretty steady. Have the rates gone up in the past 3-4 years? Definitely, because there are a lot of other factors which have got involved in that part. Acquisition costs have gone up. Material procurement costs have gone up. The cost of construction vis-a-vis has gone up. So obviously that will be passed on in the project or the sales numbers. Market slow है, तो ये पिछले 5-6 महीने से मार्केट थोड़ा स्लो है. Is basically because people are otherwise having a wait and watch scenario or wait and watch kind of an approach at this present moment. Overall, I think this tariff के issue जो चल रहे, so there was a lot of instability in the market that was seen because of that. A lot of people are heavily invested in the stock markets as well. So I think especially where high ticket size is concerned, I think they were slightly, taking longer time to recover their losses from the stock market losses otherwise that they suffered. And IT also, because of AI coming in a big way. Overall, I think the uncertainty because of our dependence in certain manners where US market is concerned for IT services is concerned. I think so all the scenarios were playing around where I think people who are there are serious buyers, but I think they are taking slightly longer time to conclude the deal rather than I think the initial trend of or couple of earlier things earlier years when we had seen where they used to otherwise close a deal in 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. Right now I think they are taking around 45 days 60 days time. So I won't say there is a slump, but definitely yes, the conversion ratio has slightly slowed down.
तो सर आपने बताया कि अभी जैसे पिछले 3-4 साल में प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस अप्रिशिएट हुए हैं यहाँ पर, तो एक एग्जांपल दे सकते हो कि 4 साल पहले की कोई एक प्रॉपर्टी का क्या प्राइस था पर स्क्वायर फीट एंड अभी कितना होगा, सो पीपल आल्सो गेट टू नो कि कितना कैपिटल अप्रिसिएशन होता है.
सो जहाँ पे हम लोग अभी इनफैक्ट जहाँ पे शूट कर रहे हैं आज ये प्रॉपर्टी में, सो 4 साल पहले जब मैं इनफैक्ट दिस प्रॉपर्टी वाज अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, द रेट अप्रोक्सीमेटली दैट वी वर कोटिंग हियर वाज अराउंड 11,500. Now I have a similar property in the same vicinity right now, and we are quoting around 14,500 to 15,000 rupees. So if you see around at least कम से कम 20% का rise उसमें हो गया है. So yeah, I think overall I think Pune has been a very steady market पिछले कई सालों से. एकदम से एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ भी नहीं होती है रेट्स में. एवरेज आप देखने जाओ, एक पिछले 10 साल का एवरेज देखने जाओ तो मेरे ख्याल से 7 से 8% ईयर ऑन ईयर इंक्रीज हो रही है प्राइसेस. बट दैट इज ऑल्सो बिकॉज ऑफ डिमांड सप्लाई. करंट अभी जो आप बोल रहे पूना मार्केट के बारे में स्पेशली पोस्ट कोविड सडनली डेवलपमेंट भी बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है पूना में, तो उसकी वजह से ज़्यादा सप्लाई भी ज़्यादा आ गया है. सो आई थिंक दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द things that has probably contributed to the slight slowdown that we are otherwise talking about.
आप काफी सारे रीडेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व है, राइट? लाइक दैट इज वन ऑफ योर फोर्टे, करेक्ट?
Yes. So initially, I think my portfolio was probably 100% redevelopment. At this moment, I think around 70% should be my redevelopment portfolio.
Okay. Can you talk about one project or one example of redevelopment that was very very challenging and आपको मतलब let's say कोई करना नहीं चाह रहा था वो प्रॉपर्टी को पूरा मतलब रीडेवलप, बट आपने डिसाइड किया कि ओके मैं ये करूँगा, एंड हाउ डिड यू टैकल लेट्स से क्वेश्चंस लाइक कि बहुत सारे रेसिडेंट्स होते हैं बोलते कि बहुत हार्डशिप फेस होगा, मतलब हम कहाँ रह गए एटसेट्रा, हाउ वर दोस कॉन्वर्सेशंस?
So any redevelopment project itself is very challenging. Okay, because end of the day आप जो लोग वहाँ पे रह रहे हैं वो पिछले 30, 35, 40 साल से शायद वहाँ पे रह रहे हैं, तो उनके लिए डिसीजन बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है जहाँ पे वो 30-40 साल के जो कंफर्ट में रह रहे हैं वहाँ से उठ के कहीं पे 3-4 साल के लिए बाहर शिफ्ट होके, बिकॉज स्पेशली रीडेवलपमेंट में आप देखने जाओ तो 50-60% से ऊपर के लोग जो है वो सीनियर सिटीजन कैटेगरी में आते हैं. सो एनीवेज रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी में तो दे हैव वर्क द एंटायर लाइफ इन अ वेरी हार्डशिप एंड नाउ दे हैव गॉट अ सिक्योर लाइफ नाउ. और वो मोमेंट पे जहाँ पे हम लोग बोलते हैं कि अब मेरी लाइफ सिक्योर होगी है, उस मोमेंट में जब रिडेवलपमेंट पे आते हैं तो उनको शायद वो थोड़ी इनसिक्योरिटी आ जाती है. तो द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट आई थिंक चैलेंज एज अ डेवलपर दैट वी फेस is one obviously to convince them to see a better and a brighter future for them as well as for the next generation. That is one aspect of it. Second, I think the most important thing that we have to as a developer also understand that हम लोग कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी डेवलपमेंट के लिए लेते हैं तो वो बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी रहती है. ओके, आप किसी को उनके घर से बाहर निकाल के 3-4 साल के लिए उनको बाहर शिफ्ट कर रहे हो. सो एक टाइमलाइन मैनर में प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट करना है उसको. जो भी कमिटमेंट दी हुई है, आपने जो डिसाइड की हुई है, वो हिसाब से उनको डिलीवरी देनी है. सो आई थिंक दैट इज वन चैलेंज दैट आई थिंक वी ऑल फेस. All projects I think have been challenging in some way or the other. Especially I think आज देखने जाओ तो रिडेवलपमेंट में आप जाओ तो शायद हर दूसरी बिल्डिंग यहाँ पे रिडेवलप हो रही है आज पुणे में. तो नेचुरली थोड़ा सा ट्रैफिक का इशू आ रहा है, हमको मूवमेंट ऑफ मटेरियल में इश्यूज आते हैं, लोगों के कंप्लेन्स आते हैं, डस्ट बहुत आ रही है करके. सो वी हैव टू नेविगेट ऑल दिस चैलेंजेस और vis-a-vis also at same time ensuring that the project timelines are catered to from with that aspect also. So I think every project will throw a different challenge, and our job is to adapt to that, adjust with it, and keep on delivering project after project.
Can you give an example of how a conversation was there with like let's say some people in the society and आपने मतलब क्या conversations हुए, कैसे आपने convince किया? थोड़ा कोई examples के साथ एक कोई anecdote या story आपको जो याद आ रही है वो बता सकते हो?
So एक इनफैक्ट मेरा डाणुकर में एक प्रोजेक्ट था जहाँ पे एक डेवलपर को की प्रपोजल के ऊपर उनका ऑलरेडी डिस्कशन चालू था. और मुझे उन्होंने एक मीटिंग के लिए बुलाया था. मुझे 10 बजे का टाइम दिया था, मैं 5 मिनट पहले पहुंच गया था वहां पे, बिकॉज दैट्स ऑलवेज बीन माई हैबिट. आई ऑलवेज ट्राई टू एटलीस्ट बी 5 मिनट्स और बी ऑन टाइम. सो जो पहले वाले डेवलपर थे वो 1 घंटा लेट आए थे. तो आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट फर्स्ट स्ट्रक द कॉर्ड विद द पीपल दैट दिस पर्सन वैल्यूज आवर टाइम. सो शायद उसी वजह से दे स्टार्टेड गिविंग मी मोर पेशेंट हियरिंग, मोर डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ व्हाट माई प्रपोजल इज. ऑब्वियसली आई थिंक द सबसे पहली चीज उनके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आप उनका भरोसा कितना जीत पाते हो. तो उसके लिए या तो आपका ओवरऑल अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स द प्रोजेक्ट, और सेकेंडली नाउ आफ्टर द पास्ट कपल ऑफ इयर्स नाउ आई थिंक द ओवरऑल डिलीवरी जितनी हम लोगों ने दी हुई है, तो आज एवरी प्रोजेक्ट बिकम्स फॉर यू योर ओन ब्रांड एम्बेसडर. सो हमको बात करनी कम पड़ रही है. आई थिंक द प्रोजेक्ट इटसेल्फ इज स्पीकिंग फॉर अस. The delivery, I think, is what is speaking for us. So now the conversations have become much more easier than what probably it used to be around 12-15 years back.
एंड इसमें अगर मैं मतलब नंबर्स वाइज या पैसों की बात करूँ तो कैसे वर्कआउट करता है? सो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट रीडेवलपमेंट में जा रहा है तो एग्जिस्टिंग लोग वहाँ पे रह रहे हैं, वो अभी पूरा जो बिल्डिंग रहेगा वो पूरा डेमोलिश हो जाएगा, राइट? एंड देन 3-4 साल यही सेम रेसिडेंट्स दूसरे बिल्डिंग में रहेंगे.
Correct.
एंड देन 4 साल बाद जैसे ये बिल्डिंग बन गई तो दोज रेसिडेंट्स विल कम बैक एंड स्टे इन द बिल्डिंग.
Right.
तो इसमें एक बार एक्सप्लेन करोगे कि लाइक नंबर्स वाइज या यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स वाइज हाउ डज इट वर्क? लाइक आपको उनको हार्डशिप कॉम्पेंसेशन देना पड़ता है, सेम उतना ही फ्लैट उनको मिलेगा, कैसे होता है ये सब?
सो नंबर वाइज आप अगर देखने जाओ तो हर प्रोजेक्ट का एक अलग यूएसपी रहता है. प्रोजेक्ट का साइज, प्लॉट शेप कितना है, कैसा है, उसके ऊपर आप टोटल एफएसआई कितना कंज्यूम कर पा रहे हो, दैट इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ इट. रोड विड्थ कितना है, उसके ऊपर आपको मिलने वाला एफएसआई कितना होता है, that will all derive that the FSI that you are going to get.
तो FSI is floor space index.
Yes.
इसका मतलब अगर like area of the land is let's say 100 square feet
say
and
10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet और अगर 3 FSI तो 30,000 square feet तक का बिल्डिंग बन सकता है.
FSI हो सकता है उसमें.
Okay.
करेक्ट है. पर वो FSI मतलब उसमें अभी सब आ जाता है, आपके पैसेजेस, लिफ्ट, स्टेयरकेसेस, वो सब आते हैं. तो लोगों को यही लगता है कि अगर 3 FSI मिल रहा है तो 3 FSI मिल रहा है मतलब हमको जो हमारा प्रेजेंट घर है उसमें बहुत ज्यादा बढ़त हो जाएगी. पर FSI में ऐसा नहीं होता है. एक्चुअली FSI जब कैलकुलेट होता है तो आपका टोटल फ्लोर स्पेस कितना आ रहा है, उसमें से लिफ्ट, स्टेयरकेस, पैसेज कितने डिडक्ट हो रहे हैं, उतना एरिया कितना जा रहा है. जैसे आप अगर P+7 अगर कंस्ट्रक्ट करे हो तो 24 मीटर के अंदर की जो बिल्डिंग है उसको सिर्फ एक ही स्टेयरकेस लगती है एज पर फायर डिपार्टमेंट के नॉर्म के हिसाब से। आप वही प्लॉट के ऊपर अगर आप हाई राइज बनाते हो, 10 माले की 11 माले की बिल्डिंग बनाते हो, तो आपको 2 स्टेयरकेस देने की जरूरत है, 2 लिफ्ट देने की जरूरत है। तो आपका FSI उसमें एक्चुअली ज्यादा जाता है। बट येस, सेलेबिलिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ द डिजाइन आपको ज्यादा मिल जाती है, आपको डिजाइन में फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी मिल जाती है। सो आई थिंक इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन साइज ऑफ द प्लॉट, द शेप ऑफ द प्लॉट, रोड विड्थ का अप्रोच कितना है, एंड ऑब्वियसली आई थिंक एंड ऑफ द डे मेंबर्स को जो हम लोग FSI एडिशनल ऑफर करते वो देने के बाद में मुझे सेलेबल क्या मिलने वाला है बाहर मार्केट में बेचने के लिए। करंट मार्केट सिनारियो का तो डेफिनेटली स्टडी करते हैं हम लोग, बट वी ऑलवेज ऑल्सो इमेजिन के जैसे नाउ राइट नाउ आप देख रहे हो कि पिछले 6 महीने से मार्केट थोड़ा स्लो चल रहा है। सो एज अ कंपनी आई हैव टू एंश्योर दैट इवन इफ देयर इज अ स्लम्प इन द मार्केट और सेल्स आर नॉट हैपनिंग, स्टिल माय प्रोजेक्ट कीप्स ऑन रनिंग विद इट्स ओन कैश फ्लो। वो कहीं पे हैम्पर नहीं हो रहा है। सो आई हैव टू ऑलवेज हैव दिस बैलेंस वेल डिफाइंड वाइल आई थिंक गिविंग एनी प्रपोजल। जब शिफ्ट होते हैं लोग तो उनको हार्डशिप देनी पड़ती है, जब नई बिल्डिंग वापस खड़ी होके उनको वापस शिफ्ट करते हैं तो एक सोसाइटी के लिए कॉर्पस हम लोग देते हैं दैट विल कैटर टू द फ्यूचर मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी। एग्जिस्टिंग मेंबर्स से की तरफ से हम लोग कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, जो नए मेंबर्स आ रहे हैं उनसे उतना ही अमाउंट कलेक्ट करके वी कलेक्टिवली हैंड इट ओवर टू द सोसाइटी so that it will help them on reducing the future maintenance का जो issue आएगा। At least they'll not have to spend very heavy on the pockets.
तो इसमें हार्डशिप कॉम्पेंसेशन भी यूजुअली देते हैं लोगों को।
So hardship component दो तरफ के रहते हैं। एक पार्ट रहता है रेंट का, तो जो जहाँ पे शिफ्ट हो रहे 3 साल के लिए 2 साल के लिए, तो उनको रेंटल कॉम्पेंसेशन में आता है, दैट इज अगेन अ हार्डशिप। एंड द सेकंड यूजुअली लोगों ने अपने घर में फर्नीचर बनाए रहते हैं, तो अगर वो फर्नीचर लॉस हो रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, तो उसका एक हार्डशिप कंपोनेंट रहता है। सो उसको हम लोग बेटरमेंट कहते हैं। Okay. So these are the two components which are usually, I think, people are very sensitive about, and we try to fix it in the arithmetic of the entire project cost that is coming up.
Got it, fair. तो अगर लेट्स अज्यूम कि कोई जो एक व्यूअर है जो ये वीडियो देख रहा है, नाउ ही और शी वांट्स टू बाय अ हाउस, तो अभी आपके हिसाब से लाइक क्या क्या ऐसे अलग अलग स्कैम्स या तो क्या क्या अलग अलग चीज़ें हो रही है लोगों के साथ विच दे शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ, एंड कैसे लाइक सम ऑफ द बिल्डर्स, ऑफ कोर्स विदाउट नेमिंग देम, बट सम ऑफ द बिल्डर्स आर लाइक ऑल्सो फूलिंग सम पीपल व्हेन दे गो टू बाय अ हाउस, एंड कैसे इससे अवेयर रह सकते हैं सब?
I'll not comment on how people are getting fooled into something, but I think I'll put it the otherwise the standard practices what they should follow. सबसे पहली चीज आई थिंक रेरा ने हमारा काम बहुत आसान कर दिया है। आई थिंक बिकॉज रेरा हैज पुट इन अ लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रिंजेंट चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस, जहाँ पे हर क्वार्टरली अपडेट्स हमको रेरा पे अपलोड करनी पड़ती है। उसकी वजह से आई थिंक किसी भी क्लाइंट को जो किसी लोकेशन में या किसी प्रोजेक्ट में इंटरेस्ट है उसको पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन एक वेबसाइट के ऊपर मिल जाती है इवन बिफोर ही एंटर्स द ऑफिस ऑफ द डेवलपर। सेकेंडली आई थिंक क्या चीज़ें देखनी है, तो एक सोसाइटी मतलब जो प्लॉट है उसका टाइटल क्लियर है कि नहीं है, उसके प्लान्स प्रॉपरली सैंक्शन हुए कि नहीं है, उसका रेरा सर्टिफिकेशन क्या कहता है, उसका टाइमलाइन कितनी है, ओवरऑल आई थिंक मार्केट से डेवलपर का सर्वे क्या आ रहा है, जो लोगों के पास उन्होंने जिनकी बिल्डिंग ऑलरेडी बनाई हुई है उनसे क्या फीडबैक आता है, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड एक डेवलपर का रहता है, कितने काम किए कितने नहीं किए, डेवलपर का ओवरऑल आई थिंक कैश फ्लो का मैनेजमेंट कैसा है। आई थिंक और लोग बहुत समझदार हो गए अब। जैसे पहले बिल्डर के पास आते थे तो शायद बिल्डर ज़्यादा सवाल पूछते थे, आज चीज़ें बदल गई है, इनफैक्ट क्लाइंट ज़्यादा सवाल पूछता है। एंड एज अ organization we have ensured that I think most of the queries of the clients that need to be answered are answered well, their comfort zone is taken care of. So और एक रेप्यूटेड ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड के डेवलपर के पास आप जाओगे तो आपको ये इश्यूज और ये चीज़ें आएंगी नहीं। मेन इंपॉर्टेंट इज आई थिंक इफ यू क्रॉस चेक ऑन द लीगैलिटी ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी एंड द डेवलपमेंट सैंक्शन प्लान्स ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेशन, most of the things are taken care of.
Got it. And यहाँ पे लाइक जैसे मैं आज बॉम्बे से पुणे ट्रैवल कर रहा था, सो इन लाइक अ स्पैन ऑफ 5 minutes आई वाज जस्ट काउंटिंग द नंबर ऑफ होर्डिंग्स एंड बैनर्स ऑफ रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज एडवर्टाइजमेंट, एंड आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे बट आफ्टर एवरी 10 seconds और आफ्टर एवरी 20 seconds कोई ना कोई मतलब ऐसे रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज के एकदम लाइक एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स थे एंड मतलब हार्डली लाइक लेट्स से एफएमसीजी या D2C या एजुकेशन जो अलग अलग सेक्टर्स है उसके कोई होर्डिंग्स नहीं दिख रहे थे. तो इसका मतलब आई वाज जस्ट सरप्राइज्ड एंड क्यूरियस टू नो कि मतलब जस्ट लाइक व्हाइल कमिंग टू पुणे like the real estate market is booming so well in the sense that there are so many projects upcoming which are coming up here and like which shows that like it is like a livable city. तो काफी मतलब एकदम ऐसे होर्डिंग्स एंड ऑल काफी ज्यादा ही दिखे थे रियल
I think
एस्टेट के.
Pune demographics have been changing, especially in the past 10 years. It's growing in a big number. And obviously, I think every developer is fighting his own space to ensure that we don't lose out on a single client. पता नहीं किसी क्लाइंट को होर्डिंग शायद अच्छा लगे उसकी वजह से मेरे पास इंक्वायरी आ जाए. So I think everybody is trying his small bit to ensure that every customer that is looking for a space in that particular area, he doesn't miss out on.
तो आपके बिजनेस में व्हाट हैज बीन द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल सोर्स ऑफ एक्वायरिंग कस्टमर्स आपके पूरे एक्सपीरियंस में कौन सा, लाइक लेट्स से होर्डिंग या मे बी इवेंट्स या मे बी वर्कशॉप्स, क्या क्या होते हैं?
So I think it's a mix of everything. Obviously hoardings plays a very important role for the recall value. Okay, customer engagement timely is what actually keeps your customers happy. But the most important, I think, what I'll always say is the repeat customer that you get or the reference client you get. And very happy to say that at least I today command at least 40 to 45% of the clientele, which is a referral clientele. Okay.
वाओ.
जिन्होंने मेरे पास ऑलरेडी प्रॉपर्टी ली हुई है, या तो खुद के लिए या तो उनके किसी दोस्त के लिए या तो किसी रिलेटिव के लिए वो प्रॉपर्टी देख रहे हैं, एंड दे विल ऑलवेज रेफर आवर नेम टू देम. सो आई थिंक द कस्टमर सेटिस्फैक्शन, आप होर्डिंग्स कितने भी लगाओ, आप एडवर्टाइजिंग कितनी भी करो, पर अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट खोखला होगा तो यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू सस्टेन फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम. आई थिंक a good delivery of a product and a happy customer will ensure that no matter whatever market scenario you feel you are into, but still I think they will ensure that the client ends up your doorstep.
Which parts of Pune or India do you think are expected to boom कि ये एरिया जो है यहाँ पे डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा आएगी in the next 5 to 10 years, say due to any reason like IT reforms या कोई भी रीजन की वजह से?
So Pune, I think right now, I think west of Pune is doing very well. Not being unjust to other areas as well, but at this present moment, at least west of Pune is doing very well. Obviously, because of the proximity to IT connectivity. Now the metro coming up in the last finishing stages, connecting it to Hinjewadi also. That will again is catering to. So I think overall infrastructure, maneuverability of mobility of traffic. Approachability of roads, I think that is probably ensuring that west of Pune is doing much more better than slightly the other parts of Pune. But yes, other part also catching up. I think other places are also developing their infrastructure in a bigger way. Where I think probably more than India, I'll rather speak of Maharashtra for the present moment. I see Kolhapur, Nasik and Nagpur as the next hot cities were coming up in Maharashtra real estate sector at least. We are now in fact coming up in Kolhapur very soon. We are also looking for an opportunity in Nagpur and Nasik now. We are exploring them. We are almost on the verge of finalizing a few. So I think these three are cities, I think, which I am very excited about for the next 5 to 10 years now.
या तो लाइक मैं मेरे पापा से ही बात कर रहा था एंड डैड स्टेज इन नासिक, तो वो भी बता रहे थे कि नासिक का रियल एस्टेट मार्केट इज लाइक बूमिंग रियली वेल एंड स्पेशली लाइक इवन द लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग दोनों का मार्केट्स लाइक दैट इज अप्रिशिएटिंग लाइक लीप्स एंड बाउंड्स. तो टीयर 2 सिटी में मेरा भी ये थीसिस या एनालिसिस था कि टीयर 2 सिटीज जो एकदम अंडररेटेड है अभी लाइक इंडिया में, वहाँ पे लाइक थोड़े सिलेक्टेड स्पॉट्स में, सिलेक्टेड सिटीज में लाइक देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी एज फार एज इन्वेस्टमेंट इज कंसर्न्ड एंड एज फार एज लाइक द डिमांड इज कंसर्न्ड.
Obviously, I think because वहाँ पे infrastructure improve हो रहा है, the connectivity is improving now. I think with the new Maharashtra government policy of connecting all the major cities with the airports also, I think that is also helping the development aspect of it. Road connectivity is improving, rail connectivity is improving and all such. I think with all this connectivity, industry will be focusing on those cities in a much more better way. New avenues for IT, or now AI is coming in. I think that is the thing that is going to obviously, fuel the growth of these 3-4 cities that I've mentioned right now.
Yeah. What are some of the most interesting projects that you are working on these days and that really excites you the most?
I think for me, I think all are my babies. So I'm obviously, even if it's a small property, I'm still very excited about it. And a bigger property also rahegi to be, I'm excited about it because I think the effort is the same. Whether it's a 24-storied parkside that we are doing right now, that is now RCC is completed now. We are targeting to complete that project somewhere around June, July now, hand it over. So I'm very excited about that project because I think right from conception of that project, I think I looked at that project with a very different vision, something that that locality had not seen before. The overall planning, design of it. So 22 stories is the residential apartment that we have. 23rd floor we have a recreational floor, and 24th floor is again a rooftop terrace garden that we are designing. That gives an entire panoramic view of the entire city. So I think that is one project I think that I'm really uh, excited also. Now excitement is about the finishing part of it. I think the project, I think that has given me a very happy feeling or a satisfied feeling in recent times is a project called as 100 Prabat, which we just delivered it right now, about last month. And that was something that when we acquired that property, uh, it's on main Prabhat Road. So there was always a thought which was always, playing on our mind, whether should we look at it as a complete commercial property or to make it into residential property. And I was very clear that I want to make it a very exclusive residential property, wherein 4.5 BHKs is the smallest size that we have. And all the upper floor flats were designed with a 360-degree view, with one floor, one flat, which is around 6,000 square feet. We have a swimming pool on top, which probably you will not see it on Prabhat Road. Gym, nice party or recreation space that we have created. So that is a project I think that has given me immense satisfaction overall with the finishes also, because I felt that after a long time I think I've slightly upped my game with that project, telling the people now this is also that we can do or deliver, giving an ultra luxurious project that otherwise we had not done it before.
And how do you ensure that आपका जो delivery of project है that is always within the time that is told to the customers? Because सबसे बड़ा challenge या problem ये होता है, बहुत सारे builders बताते हैं कि okay 5 साल में हो जाएगा, but it takes 7-8 years या 10 years. Like मुंबई में I know, वर्ली में like लोअर पटेल में वहाँ पर इतने सारे projects बन के आ रहे हैं, and like people have lot of complaints कि हमको बताया था 5 साल but ये 10 साल हो गए, like extra 5 years. तो how do you ensure that?
Uh, I have to thank my team for that in the first place. I think बहुत साल से जो टीम मेरे साथ काम करी वो सालों से काम करी है. मेरा पहला इंजीनियर आज भी मेरे साथ काम करता है. तो ओवरऑल आई थिंक दे हैव हेल्प मी इन इंश्योरिंग कि प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट किस तरीके से होने वाली है. अगर प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग कोई साइन करते हैं तो माय इंजीनियरिंग टीम ऑलरेडी विजिट्स द साइट. दे इनफैक्ट show me a few challenges which I'm going to face as a while executing the site, right even before we start demolishing the building. So they are well accustomed with the timeline that I have in mind. So वो हिसाब से उनका planning अच्छा रहता है. और I think I'm of that habit that I never overcommit. Okay. अगर मुझे लगता है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट होने में अराउंड 32 मंथ्स लगने वाले, तो मैं पहले क्लाइंट को पहले ही बोल देता हूँ कि 36 मंथ्स लगने वाले. इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर कि आप 2-3 महीने हक से ज़्यादा मांग लो. इससे आई थिंक यू आर ऑलवेज caught up with being in the wrong situation and in an embarrassing situation also, जहाँ पे आपको सुनना पड़े कि शायद मेरा प्रोजेक्ट डिले हो गया. सो थोड़ा सा हक नाउ, बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलवेज थॉट दैट my existing customers or my new customers who are coming in and as an extended part of your family, और फैमिली से थोड़ा लेवरेज ले सकते हैं, थोड़ी लिबर्टी ले सकते हैं, उनको बोल के 1-2-3 महीने ज़्यादा लगेंगे कंपेयर टू व्हाट अदर्स हैव कमिटेड टू. सो आई थिंक दैट हैज सो फार आई थिंक वर्कड वेल फॉर अस.
एंड इसमें अभी कमिंग बैक फ्रॉम द पीओवी ऑफ अ पर्सन हु इज वांटिंग टू बाय अ हाउस, आप क्या एडवाइस करोगे? वेदर like what is smarter, whether he or she should move in a ready to move kind of an apartment which is fully furnished, or invest in, let's say, something like an under construction property and then few years down the line move?
See, it's also depends upon your own personal requirement and need. Okay, some people have that liberty or that luxury of waiting for a couple of years. Okay, in such a case, I would always advise them to buy a property at the starting stage only. It helps them a lot in a way of, first and foremost, आपको choice मिल जाती है फ्लैट सिलेक्शन में, ओके, फ्लोर सिलेक्शन में. सेकेंडली जब काम चालू रहता है तो अगर आपको कुछ इंटरनल चेंजेस करने हैं तो आपको उसमें भी चॉइस मिल जाती है एंड इट इज़ मच मोर ईजियर टू गेट इट डन. जो प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन की स्टेज में आता है, यू आर रिलेटिवली लेफ्ट विथ वेरी फ्यू ऑप्शंस. जो बचे हुए फ्लैट से उन्हीं में से आपको खरीदना है. सो योर ऑप्शंस आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेड. So it is always advisable that if you have the luxury of time on your hand, to buy a property right in the initial stage only, so that I think it just helps you and it benefits you in all angles.
So I was just reading somewhere. So basically, अभी क्या option आ गया लोगों के पास? Let's say people don't have capital to invest in real estate. So real estate investment trusts form कर दिए. तो वहाँ पर you can invest in a listed company's real estate investment trust, and then that company will now pull in your capital of all the people who have invested and then give that property on maybe rental or sell it to someone else.
Correct.
And जो rental yields वहाँ से वो property को मिलेगी तो the investors will get units in the form of like dividends or money in the form of units.
Correct.
So basically it's like a mutual fund की pooling of investments, but in the real estate company.
So I think that's also a fabulous option that you're looking at. Obviously, I think the market is definitely growing. Pune, or rather, if you see, we are talking about the new India growth story. We are all talking about, we are at least looking at around next 20 years. That will be India's story. With that, I think demand for real estate is never going to die down. It's only going to keep on going up. We Indians are always emotional about real estate. एक ही बार लेना है पर अच्छा लेना है, तो it's a very emotional buy. Okay, so that will never go waste. That will never in fact get to a situation your investment has gone waste. So yeah, I think real estate trust fund is also another option that they can look at it.
Let me ask you a tricky question which a lot of people always ponder upon. तो एक होता है buying a house versus renting a house. And आपने भी बहुत सारे reels देखे होंगे Instagram पे, बहुत सारे finance influencers बोलते कि नहीं रेंट पे रहना चाहिए. And अगर आप हाउस खरीदते हो तो आपको लोन लेना पड़ेगा 8.5% पे. आप उससे अच्छा रेंटल यील्ड 3% की दे रहे हो, वही पैसा आप किधर भी इन्वेस्ट कर लो 12-13% पे रिटर्न मिल जाएगा. What's your advice to people who are thinking or contemplating कि रेंट पे रहना है या बाय करना है, एंड वी आर अज्यूमिंग कि उनके पास पैसा है बाय करने का, बट स्टिल दे आर लिविंग ऑन रेंट? तो आपका क्या व्यू है इस पे?
I think according to me it's an individual choice. Okay, for me purchase of a property always gives me a sense of security. Okay, कि ये मेरा घर है. Okay, आप आपके तरीके से उसको घर बना सकते हो. The lady coming into a house will turn it into a home. ओके, तो वो घर जैसा बनाने के लिए वो आपकी खुद की प्रॉपर्टी होनी चाहिए. आप रेंटल पे लेते हो तो हर 2 साल 3 साल बाद यू हैव टू कीप ऑन मूविंग आउट. सो इट एटलीस्ट दिस इज माय थॉट प्रोसेस. इट डजंट गिव यू द स्टेबिलिटी. ओके, buying a property always gives you a stability, a sense of belonging, sense of rootedness. So I'll always advise to buy a property than going in for rental. पहली प्रॉपर्टी कम से कम खरीद लो, दूसरी प्रॉपर्टी ले रहे हो तो ऑब्वियसली वो रेंटल पे आप चढ़ा सकते हो उसको. बट अगर आप किसी सिटी में नए जा रहे हो तो ऑब्वियसली टू नो द सिटी, टू नो द एरिया वेल, rental is always the best option. But if you're going to be settled in a city, it is always better that you buy the property, because it always happens that आज 5 साल बाद आप अगर डिसीजन लेते हो अब मुझे प्रॉपर्टी बाय करनी है, तो शायद आपके बजट में आपको प्रॉपर्टी ना मिल जाए. Okay, the property prices are always going to keep on increasing. So it's always better to be smart enough and buy as early as possible rather than postponing the decision.
मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है बहुत बार कि लाइक घर मतलब जल्दी खरीद लिया तो बेटर. आई एम ऑफ दैट व्यू पॉइंट एंड आई हैव टोल्ड मल्टीपल अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम्स डिस्पाइट कमिंग फ्रॉम अ फाइनेंस बैकग्राउंड. मतलब आई नो नंबर्स आर नेवर गोइंग टू मेक सेंस, रेंटल यील्ड्स तो कम ही होगी, बट मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ज़्यादा वही है कि लाइक इट्स लाइक मोर लाइक एन इमोशनल डिसीजन एंड इट्स मोर लाइक कि खुद का घर जो होता है दैट इज नॉट एन इन्वेस्टमेंट इज व्हाट आई टेल. मतलब वो एक मैं इन्वेस्टिंग के एंगल से उसको नहीं देख रहा हूँ कि मेरे को इसमें मतलब अप्रिशिएट करवाना है. इट्स
Correct.
मोर लाइक एन एंगल ऑफ सेफ्टी, शेल्टर, खुद
Correct.
का घर होना चाहिए. लाइक दैट इज द एंगल व्हिच आई यूजुअली टेल,
Correct.
व्हिच आई रेजोनेट विद व्हाट
Absolutely.
यू सेड.
I completely are in sync with your thoughts as well, because that's what I think. Because घर हम लोग रेंटल के हिसाब से कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते.
Exactly.
ओके, इट्स अ वेरी इमोशनल थिंग, और उसको उसी तरीके से देखेंगे तो आई थिंक इट मेक्स योर डिसीजन वेरी इजी.
एंड अगर जो अग्रीमेंट होता है लाइक फ्लैट परचेज अग्रीमेंट बाइंग के टाइम, वो दैट इज लाइक वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स.
Yeah.
उसमें एनी स्पेसिफिक क्लॉज और पॉइंट यू थिंक पीपल यूजुअली आर ओवरलुकिंग, या तो नजरअंदाज कर देते वो, एंड लाइक सम पॉइंटर्स दैट शुड ऑलवेज बी केप्ट इन माइंड इन द परचेज अग्रीमेंट?
I think the most important, obviously, I think is the exact carpet area of the apartment that you're buying, the valuation of the property that you're buying, the flat number, the floor number that you're looking at. I think these are the more important aspect of it. Otherwise, it's all a standard draft, which more or less is in sync with the RERA draft now that has been approved by RERA. All the developers are following the RERA draft, or minor changes here and there per se. ड्राफ्ट बहुत मॉडिफाइड और बहुत ही स्टेबल हो गया उसमें.
तो रेरा वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन 2016, राइट?
Yes.
2016 में आया था.
Yeah.
तो इसमें ऐसे टॉप 2-3 क्या पॉइंटर्स थे जो चेंज हुए रेरा आने के बाद फ्रॉम अ रियल एस्टेट पर्सपेक्टिव व्हिच वर बेनिफिशियल टू कस्टमर्स?
One, obviously, I think पहले the first and important aspect was giving authenticity to any project that you're buying at. I think RERA certification gives you that. Okay. Two, पहले अगर आप प्रोजेक्ट में किसी परचेस कर रहे हो तो every developer had his own whims and fancies of demanding money from a client. Okay. So he could define the stages of construction, या तो payment structure of the payment that is going to come. Now RERA has well defined the structure also of which way the developer can receive the money at what stage. So I think that has become much more easier for all the clientele. Secondly, RERA always keeps cross checks and balances where the progress of the project is concerned. And again, after the project is completed, पहले जैसे हमने देखा था कि प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट हो गया है और डेवलपर ने हाथ ऊपर कर दिए, तो आज ऐसा होता नहीं है. वी आर लायबल लीगली, वी आर बाउंड टू ensure that whatever challenges that the customer may face due to the workmanship of the developer, we have to ensure that that is taken care of by the developer, at least for 5 years from the sale of the property.
So RERA primarily like आया था because a lot of like let's say developers used to take money and not finish the project. That used to happen, right? And ये आने के बाद I think अभी separately escrow account में पैसा deposit करना पड़ता है, which you can only use for the building and not for any other project. मतलब मेरे पापा बता रहे थे कि बहुत developers पैसा लेते थे, दूसरे projects में डाल देते थे, वो भी नहीं होता था, ये भी नहीं होता था, तो project अटक जाता था, and that's why like they did not used to repay the money.
So it started right from, in fact, for the matter, now you cannot sign any apartment agreement without a RERA registered number or RERA certification. पहले कैसा था, मैंने सिर्फ प्लॉट ले लिया है या तो प्लॉट का नेगोशिएशन चालू है, आप अगर मेरे पास आते थे तो मैं कहता था कि ये प्लॉट ले लिया है मैंने और ये आप उसमें फ्लैट खरीद लो, मैं आपका डॉक्यूमेंट कल रजिस्टर कर देता हूँ, बिकॉज देयर वाज नो क्रॉस चेक एंड बैलेंसेस. नाउ विद RERA coming into effect, first and foremost I have to get my plan sanctioned. I have to acquire the property with all the legal documentation, then get the plan sanctioned, then apply for RERA. When the RERA certificate is generated, only after that I can register a document. So I think first layer of foolproof security has been provided by RERA. Secondly, I think misuse of funds is not happening. Is also something that has been taken care by, I think, the guidelines that RERA has put up to us, wherein like you rightly said, अगर मेरे पास 100 रुपए आ रहे तो 70 rupees have to go into that project account and only 30% comes into my developer account. And again 70% का हर quarterly I have to give a report to RERA or submitted audited report to RERA which says कि मेरे ये क्वार्टर में इतना अमाउंट आया, मेरे ये प्रोजेक्ट का इतना खर्चा हुआ, या तो बैलेंस हो गया या तो अदर जो अगर थोड़ा ओवरशूट हो गया तो डेवलपर ने कितने ज्यादा इक्विटी उसमें डाली हुई है. सो आई थिंक ऑल दिस cross checks and balances are there. So I think that's the reason why probably you're seeing majority of the projects are getting completed in timeline. Delivery schedules have been met time and again. And Maharashtra era per se has been very stringent. I think amongst all is what I can say.
अच्छा, तो ये मतलब स्टेट वाइज है क्या
हाँ जी,
डिफरेंट?
हाँ
ओके,
जी.
सो महाराष्ट्र का रेरा अलग है, दूसरे स्टेट्स का अलग है, इज दैट
So
द केस?
RERA was introduced by center,
Okay.
okay, and the state had the liberty to modify and change or make it more stringent as per the demographics of the state. And so that's the reason why it's called as Maharera. So it is Maharashtra ka
Okay.
RERA. Okay. So Maharera has been very stringent about it
Okay, got
while
it.
drafting only the entire RERA Act for Maharashtra.
गॉट इट. अगर कोई जैसे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में डेवलपमेंट हो रही है, लेट्स से मेट्रो या तो एक एयरपोर्ट बन रहा है या तो मेट्रो लाइन बन रही है, इसकी वजह से प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस स्काई रॉकेट होते हैं क्या? एनी एग्जांपल्स ऑफ दिस?
Yes, I think we have seen that trend happening earlier. Again, it's also about the connectivity, mobility, availability. है कि नहीं, डिमांड सप्लाई का रेशियो कैसा है, वो हिसाब से आई थिंक द प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस विल कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. But I think the more infrastructure development that keeps on coming up, the property prices will always keep on going up.
तो ये आई वाज जस्ट फ्लैबरकास्टेड बाय वन नंबर. तो जैसे नवी मुंबई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट जैसे बन रहा है, लाइक एवरीवन नोज दैट इज बीइंग बिल्ट, तो पनवेल में प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस शॉट अप सिग्निफिकेंटली. मतलब मैं बस एक डेटा पढ़ रहा था कि जैसे ये अनाउंसमेंट वगैरह हुआ एंड जैसे ही मतलब पता चला कि ओके ये होने वाला है, तो प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस जब मतलब अभी आई थिंक इट्स अराउंड 15 से 20 हज़ार रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट के आसपास, एंड पहले इट यूज्ड टू बी 7-8 हज़ार रुपीज पर स्क्वायर फीट 5 साल पहले, जब मैं हॉस्टल में पढ़ाई करता था तब मैं प्राइसेस चेक करता था तब. तो इट हैज लाइक शॉट अप, एंड आई थिंक वो ये मतलब इसकी वजह से लाइक लॉट ऑफ नाउ प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड ऑल देयर आल्सो हैपनिंग लाइक in Navi Mumbai, which is outskirts of
So
Mumbai.
obviously, I think any project that will be announced, first and foremost, the land prices will always go up.
Correct.
As the construction keeps on coming up there, and the infrastructure actually starts shaping up there, because one part is announcement and the other part is actual starting of the project, infrastructure project on the side. So I think these are the barriers and stages, I think, with which I think every property prices will keep on going upward. प्रोजेक्ट अनाउंस हो गया तो लैंड प्राइसेस थोड़े बढ़ जाएंगे. प्रोजेक्ट का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चालू हो गया तो अगेन द प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस विल स्टार्ट राइजिंग अप. एंड वंस द प्रॉपर्टी एक्चुअली द प्रोजेक्ट इज गेटिंग कंप्लीटेड, द प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस विल अगेन सी अ हाइक इन दैट. सो आई थिंक इट्स ऑल अगेन डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द डिलीवरी on the commitment that the state or the state or the central government has given, and I think people are going to start enjoying the benefits of it. So as the infrastructure keeps on getting better and better, I think the property prices always keep on going higher and higher.
If let's say you were to buy a new house today, which area would you choose, and why would you choose that, and what type of a flat would you buy?
Bapare, it's a difficult question to answer, I think, thankfully for me, I think luckily all my projects are in the best areas of Pune. So maybe that's the reason why probably I love those areas. So I think that's the reason why probably I'm focusing more on those areas. But like Prabhat Road, Koth Road, Model Colony, Aund, these are the locations which I find very comfortable. So I think probably only that's the reason why probably I'm focusing on those areas. So I'll obviously advocate only these locations for people to, if they are at all interested in buying a property, to especially focus on these areas, because that's where Ambedkar is catering to you. And
you'd also written about a restaurant shutting down due to high rentals in Pune, which was like one of your favorite restaurants as well. And you advocated for a more flexible model there. तो ये क्या story था, and क्या type के rental models होने चाहिए?
So either see, again, it's a individual base call. Because I think right now, even as a developer, I'm facing challenge where basically wherein the expectation for me while giving my property up for rent is not matching up to the expectation of the client who are coming in for leasing requirements. So either in that case, I think what we can also look at is a co-sharing of revenue sharing model. I think that may work out better for both of us, I think, because दोनों कमाएंगे तो दोनों साथ में grow करेंगे. So that is one aspect of it. I think that restaurant owner was a very good friend of mine. So, and maybe I was too used to going to that place. So I slightly felt bad when that restaurant closed down, because he said the overall operation costs were going up, vis-a-vis compared to the business that we are doing. And for that, I think he had to shut down the restaurant. But again, it was an individual call, and restaurant industry is only growing in Pune. Every nook and corner you are seeing new theme restaurant coming up. So probably it can be one of the cases. But I think if restaurant owners as well as the landowner property go in for a revenue sharing model, probably they both can grow together.
तो ये रेस्टोरेंट शट डाउन हुआ क्योंकि रेंटल बहुत ज्यादा था इनका, लाइक रेंटल कॉस्ट बहुत
Rental
बढ़
keep
गया था?
on. See, I think if you see, I think anything, you take it a lease property on residential या तो commercial, the rental at least 8 to 10% year on year increment रहती है उसमें. Vis-a-vis, I think COVID के बाद में there was a low turnout where I think customers was concerned. लोग ज़्यादा बाहर नहीं जा रहे थे, but rental का pressure चालू था. So he was not able to yield to that pressure. And that's the reason why I think he asked for a moratorium or a breather also. But owner has had his own challenges, his own EMIs, to pay. So probably that's the reason why they both couldn't work together and they had to part ways, and the restaurant had to unfortunately shut down. But in that scenario, if they would have worked out on a model where a part of a revenue, whatever is generated on a monthly basis, is being given to the owner, और वो रेंटल का प्रेशर नहीं रहता था, तो शायद दैट रेस्टोरेंट कुड हैव सर्वाइव्ड एंड थ्राइव्ड मे बी. तो
अभी आपको लगता है लाइक ये मॉडल जो है कि रेवेन्यू शेयर करना स्टार्टिंग में सो दैट द कॉस्ट्स आर मिनिमाइज्ड, ये चलेगा इंडस्ट्री में? लाइक वुड द लैंडलॉर्ड्स बी ओके विद समथिंग लाइक दिस?
इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन ईच एंड एवरी कंफर्ट जोन.
बट होता है लाइक एट प्रेजेंट?
देयर आर अ फ्यू फ्रेंड्स ऑफ माइन हु हैव got places and they have given it up on a revenue sharing as a fixed monthly rental, या तो fixed monthly amount that will be paid to them, and the overheads over and above that will be the revenue sharing model that can come into effect. So that slightly increases the monthly pressure of the owner of the property. And it just not restaurant, it can be any business. I think it can be a retail, it can be a restaurant or any other business. I think that, or maybe even probably now co-working spaces is coming up in a big way. So that is another aspect, I think, where we can see revenue sharing model coming up. But again, it's also that when I think you are also starting any venture up now, co-working spaces, I had a proposal wherein they were looking at my property for co-working spaces, and wherein I think the basic factor was that the property is there. I had to refurbish the property, and vis-a-vis the cost they were sharing with me. So I was not able to match my arithmetic with them. What I should be getting is the bare minimum cost what I've invested. So it has to be a very sensible decision from both sides while numbers are concerned.
एंड इसमें अगर मैं यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स की बात करूँ रियल एस्टेट बिजनेस की, तो आप एक बार सिंपल टर्म्स में एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो कि एज अ रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर कैसे यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स होते हैं, रेवेन्यू क्या क्या टाइप के कॉस्ट्स हो गए, एंड देन यूजुअली लाइक मार्जिन्स वगैरह क्या होते हैं, लाइक इफ यू कैन जस्ट वॉक अस थ्रू द यूनिट इकोनॉमिक्स.
So the first and foremost, the revenue generation obviously is the acquisition of a property. That is the first part of it. The second part is obviously the sanctioning cost जो आपको आने वाली है. The third part is obviously the cash flow for the project entirely. The third part is finishes, what you want to give in that project. And the last part obviously is always the taxation that we owe to the government. I think so all these numbers have to put in place. और ये सब करने के बाद में 3-4 साल बाद आप मेहनत करने के बाद में आप कितना मुनाफा उसमें कमा रहे हो. Because end of the day, I think we will always look at that number. I think, and if it's up to your satisfactory mark. So these are the arithmetics that we need to. Some may be happy with working on a 5% margin. Some may be happy with a 10% margin. That's an individual based call. So, but I think these are the units that we need to look into it while designing any listed property.
एंड यूजुअली ये जो आपने कॉस्ट बताए सारे, तो व्हाट प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ रेवेन्यू इन परसेंटेज टर्म्स होगा? आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड कि सबसे बड़ा कॉस्ट कौन सा होगा, एंड देन कैसे ये नीचे जाएगा.
So on an average, land acquisition can be anything between say 33% to 40% can go into land acquisition. 30 to 35% will go into the actual project cost,
Hmm.
and the rest of the cost will be your taxation plus your profits.
So, and when you say project cost, like let's say वो पूरा मतलब right from the cement, raw material
Yes.
to the workers,
Yes,
पूरा building बनाने का
correct,
cost.
correct,
And when you say land acquisition, so basically we are assuming that आप land पहले खरीद रहे हो
correct,
and then वो land पे आप property बना रहे हो.
correct, correct.
ऐसे भी मॉडल्स होते हैं ना, लाइक कि लैंड किसी और का रहेगा एंड देन उस पे आप बिल्डिंग बनाओगे. वो केस पे आई थिंक कुछ प्रॉफिट शेयर होगा लैंड ओनर के
Correct.
साथ.
So
then builder
it's a
के
joint
साथ.
venture development or a joint development that we look into, wherein I think usually the landowners can get anything between say 25% to right up to 50% as a share of the property. Okay. So what the developer does is the developer doesn't need to pump in the money for the land cost, but he acquires the right for developing that property, while he'll be the one who will be investing on the infrastructure, on the development of the property with his expertise. And whatever the revenue sharing will happen, I think that will happen mutually, either in terms of the actual finances or in terms of the units that are going to be built there. 50% अगर developer रखता है तो 50% will be going to the landowner, and the landowner will decide on its own whether he wants to retain it, sell it in the open market, or allow the developer to sell it in the open market, and उसका जो remuneration आएगा that will be passed on to the landowner.
Got it. You've also done a lot of joint ventures and worked with a lot of partners, right? Like multiple set of partners in the past. So कैसे आप select करते हो that he or she is the right person to work with, and then कैसे वो conversations होने के बाद, like how does the project become successful? Like what are the synergies in a partnership versus doing it on a standalone basis?
So first and foremost, I think I have started doing this very recently, and that too for a very few projects. And the partners that I have right now have been my friends for years now. Okay. So first we have been friends for years. That comfort has always been there. We have always known strengths and weaknesses of each other. And based on that, we decided to come together for a project or a property, and started, wanted to give it a shot. So far, I think I've been blessed to have amazing partners with me, with whom I'm already completed a few projects now, and now venturing into some newer projects. But that synergy has to be there. It's like a husband-wife relationship. That trust has to be there. Everyone should know what is the role that he or she has to play in that project or in that company. So I think once the distinction is done very properly, the job distribution is done very properly, I think lesser conflicts you can have.
And इसमें मतलब then like partnership करने के बाद the main synergy is that you divide like the skill sets, you divide the work, and then like I just want to understand कि कैसे 2 + 2 = 5 इसमें कैसे हो पाता है? Like is it because skills separate होने के बाद like the project is like of a massive scale, that's why you need a partner, or it's more like कि दूसरे तुम्हारे skills जो है आप वो कर लो, मैं मेरे skills डालूँ? How does that work?
So yes, it's a combination of all. I think every human being has got amazing skill sets or strengths of his own. Okay, and if he can bring in those expertise to that project, that will only help the project enhance or grow, or the vision of the project increase multifold. I think where one of my projects is concerned, where 3 partners are in that project, one partner is very good in numbers. Okay, so I think for me that headache is taken care of, because he is the one who takes care of the numbers, the arithmetics. My job is to ensure.
Is he a CA by any chance? Is he a CA by any chance?
No, he's not a CA.
Okay.
But I think he's probably, I'll put it this way, he's worse than a CA also, because he asks too many questions where the numbers is concerned. So, but he's very good in that. So that is one aspect I think that he contributes, and that also helps us keep the project, the project management of the funds in check. I think so. एक कोई ऐसा चाहिए बंदा उसमें. Secondly, where my role is concerned, I am always passionate about actual site delivery, the execution of it, the sale part of it. So I think वो एक बन जाती है अच्छे से synergy, where I think everybody knows what the role is being played. Where one of the other project that I am looking at, where 3 partners are concerned. The other partner again is a civil engineer. He's very passionate about going on site, being a civil engineer himself. So we had made it very clear that he will be the only one who will take all the decisions where the RCC work is concerned. I will not get involved in that part. But where finishing, where sale, where the aesthetic look of the building is concerned, he will not interfere. And the third partner is very silent. He said, आप दोनों को मुझसे ज़्यादा पसंद है, ज़्यादा पता है, तो I think आप जो कहोगे उसके लिए मेरा आपको support है. So I think he is a silent partner. So he's the best partner, I think, you know. वो सिर्फ कभी कभार महीने में एक बार आता है, साइड पे देखता है, अच्छा ठीक है इतना हो गया है, और एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ही विल ओनली लुक एट द नंबर पार्ट ऑफ इट. अच्छा ये महीने में कितना सेल हो गया है, सो उसमें से मेरा कितना शेयर था, सो व्हाट इज द रिटर्न दैट आई एम गोइंग टू गेट. आई थिंक ही इज ओनली लुकिंग टू दैट पार्ट, बट आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी beautiful or a nice problem to have, because you have that person who completely and blindly trust the two of us, I think, who have been doing this project or this real estate for a long time. So it's again, it's all about mutual respect, mutual trust. अगर वो नहीं रहेगा तो कोई पार्टनरशिप नहीं चल सकती.
Right. You also had sponsored or like funded one person who won medal in Olympics,
Yeah.
right? So आपने कैसे decide किया कि इनको fund करना है, sponsor करना है, and what was that entire story?
So to be very frank, किसी मतलब स्वप्नील कुसड़े is the person whom we supported. I won't call sponsor, but supported while his journey right from start. So there is an organization called as Lakshya in Pune, and Lakshya is someone who has started the organization with a dream that to make India into a medal winning force in the Olympics that keep on coming through, whether it's athletes, whether it's badminton players, tennis players. They keep on having a talent scout where they hunt all this new talent. So one talent in such a thing, I think Swapnil was introduced to me that, he's an upcoming talent. But obviously when they are starting, no one is ready to, help them or stand by them financially. So I think Laksh helps them in getting the right financial support so that, they can keep on living their dream and, start walking towards their objective or the goal that they have. And that's where I think Swapnil Kusale was introduced to us. For a couple of years, we did support to him initially for 3-4 years. And after that, I think he only kept on growing. And then I think probably I was short on my pockets. I think, his dreams were too big. So that's where I think I said, you should find someone with a larger pocket who will support you. But a very sweet boy. In fact, he had a birthday this month. We just had a conversation and a chat with him. Still the same guy that I met about 10 years back. So yeah, I think this is in a small way, just contributing to the idea of India growing stronger and confident India.
So touching and so inspiring to hear stories like these. तो आपने 10 साल पहले ही like identify कर लिया था, and 10 साल पहले आपने support किया था. Got it. And company culture आपने mention किया, तो वो कैसे build किया हुआ है, and what is the company culture right now? मतलब कैसे होता है, like if you can define.
So I think I will say I think I have to thank my family upbringing for me. I think because I think the core value systems that have been put into us right from my childhood, from my grandparents to my parents to my in-laws also after I got married, I think. So that has helped me, bring in this culture in the company of be compassionate, be empathetic towards anyone who is coming into your company. Second part, I think that we have looked into is be true to yourself. Sometimes you may need to be very blunt. Sometimes you need to say no to a certain thing, but you should know where to stand firm. So I think that is what the core value systems has been taught in the company. And again, I think overall, coming from a city like Pune, where we value a lot of culture, a lot of legacy, heritage, I think how we can imbibe those characters into our company structure is what I think. And I don't think we had to make any special efforts for that. It has probably just, happened over the past many years. But yeah, the core philosophy has been overall, I think, shaped up in this way.
Has there been any lowest phase in your career, and आपने कैसे डील किया था उसको? कुछ ऐसे है आपके लाइफ में?
I think as I think time passes, I think you will face challenges. I think, at the start of your career, you will have a different low phase, different challenges. When you are, growing, you will have a different phases or challenges to deal with. And I think as a human being, I think we beautifully adapt to them. We find our own solutions. We find solutions either in seeking the right advice from the person whom you trust or whom you look up to, or probably talking to the right consultant. And otherwise, sometimes just being patient also, because a storm will always fade away and there will be a nice sunshine that is coming back. So sometimes patience also plays a lot. So I think nothing in particular, but I think time is the best thing which keeps on throwing new challenges and also at the same time giving you solutions.
And आपने ये business join किया था in 1997, right?
No, 99 I joined my father.
99.
Yeah.
And this was already a 23-year-old business when you joined?
No, that my father started this company in 84.
Okay.
I joined him in 99.
Okay, so
2000.
15 years.
Yeah. And I started working with him when I was doing my engineering last year.
Okay. And how was that conversation? Like, how did you decide यही करना है, and your father had to convince you, or you had decided to do this?
I had to rather convince my father, and my father was absolutely dead against me coming into the industry.
Ooh, why?
Obviously, because he, like I said, he was the first one to get into a business. He had his share of challenges to deal with. And overall, I think he thought that, maybe I can be in some other field rather than being in construction field. I'm a computer engineering actually by education. Always wanted to come into real estate, seeing my father right from childhood. But he never wanted me to come into it. So actually I went for computer engineering, and in my last year, because he was unwell, and being the eldest in the family, there was no one to look after a few sites that he was looking into. I joined the business again, and that's how again my entry into real estate happened again. So it never happened by choice. It happened by accident, but I think a beautiful accident, I can say.
Yeah, for sure, because now you've scaled the empire, and I'm sure it's going to scale even further. So very, very interesting conversation. Let's just assume that someone who's watching this, there are three types of people: one with 50 lakh surplus, one with 2 CR, one with 10 CR. Where would you advise them to invest in real estate? Which area and what form of real estate? 50 lakh, 2 crore, 10 crore.
Again, it's an individual choice. Okay. 50 lakhs, if you have a seed capital, I think, and you have a decent amount of bank balance, at the same time you have a stronger financial, I think the bank will always support you to cater to your dream to look for a larger apartment. Where 2 crore is concerned, I think right now Kothurud is a good area where you can get a good 3-bedroom apartment in a size of 2.5 crores. Where 10 CR is concerned, I think at this moment, I think I'll put it this way, I think you are having all the choices in hand. I think whether to buy an apartment or whether even to become a financial partner or invest in a property. So I think you have your wide options. As I think you have more money in hand, you have more options in hand, and maybe a more bargaining chip. So I think everyone will have a different set of things to look.
Wow, lovely. Very, very inspiring. Super inspiring journey. Plus, a lot of insights, a lot of learnings from this conversation. Thank you so much for doing this. I had an amazing time, learned a lot from you about the real estate industry. And I'm going to send this to my dad for sure because he's into real estate as well. But thank you so much for doing this. I hope you had an amazing time.
Kushal. It was different. It was something, especially I think you got me in a lot of awkward situation where numbers is concerned, which makes me uncomfortable right from my school days. But it was lovely, having a chat with you, knowing you, and I hope we get a chance soon someday again to connect.
Definitely. I'm going to come to a newer property, and I'm sure like this property, and then I'll come to a new property to host you on the podcast again.
Lovely. You are always welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया होगा तो I'll request you to share it with all your friends and subscribe to our channel so that we can give you more value additive content in the shortest amount of time. हमको ये बताइए कि आपको कौन से kind of guest चाहिए, हमको ये बताइए कि कौन से questions मुझे नहीं पूछने चाहिए थे, कौन से questions मुझे और पूछने चाहिए थे ताकि आपको और ज्यादा value मिल सके, और कौन से ऐसे parts है जो आपको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं आए ताकि हम लोग ये parts trim कर सके future episodes में. So thank you so much once again for watching this episode, and keep sharing all our episodes with your friends and keep giving us feedback so that we can improve and come up with better quality content.